Hello everybody, welcome to Raising Vibrations and your assignment today. So in today's video, I'm going to show you a technique that I use that connects me to the astrology chart and to the person, and applying the evolutionary method and really getting the depth that I'm talking about in this conversation. So if you haven't watched the first two videos and you're watching this one, I encourage you to stop, and you need to go back and watch the first two videos first. I talk about why traditional astrology does not connect the emotional body to the process, and why we need an evolutionary method to really access the ability to transform ourselves, to be able to read charts for people, to really revolutionize the way that we can understand astrology in our lives. And I also actually show you what the first steps are that you can take to begin orientating yourself. So like I said, if you haven't watched them, go check out those videos first. Lots of information there, and you'll find a card that will come up over here, and you'll also see a link in the description towards those videos, okay? Alrighty then, cool. So I want to show you this tip, but before I do that, I just want to kind of reinforce that what you're understanding here is that there is an individual process for all of us, okay? There's no one size fits all. So this is about really bringing the individual experience to the table. You're learning about the uniqueness of another person's chart, and you're learning about how you can bring that uniqueness through dialogue and observation correlation to the table, okay? So the big secret that I want to share with you, the technique, is asking the questions why. Why is it that you have this Jupiter in this placement? Why do you have Pluto in that house? What is the reason for having the collection of planets in this placement, and how is it really supporting your evolutionary intention? When we begin to look at the chart and we begin to ask these questions across the board for all of the planets, we start to extract a completely different conversation that takes place, and a whole entire world of information that you are bringing to the table when you begin to ask the question, why do I have this placement here? And so that is the technique. It's simply looking at the chart, orientating yourself and saying, why do I have this placement? What is it facilitating? How is this location, and why do the planets look like that? Okay, so here's an example, okay? We've got Mercury retrograde. Right? Now, generally speaking, definitions of Mercury retrograde is, you can't learn the way that everybody else does, or that your communication is different, or there's always something that is unique or different about your Mercury in your chart when you've got a retrograde there, okay? So instead of identifying ourselves with more of these more sort of negative definitions or associations, let's switch it and say, why? Why do you have Mercury retrograde that is purposely blocking you from taking in all the information that is available? Why is it that your communication needs to be unique? And so when we start to look at it from this point of view, we're beginning to actually see a purpose here as well. We're beginning to see that this might be part of an even deeper part of your chart. You may notice some repeating themes, like Pluto in the third as an example, or Jupiter is in a retrograde form. And part of asking the question, why, and trying to look at the chart from this perspective, you begin to see that actually there's a purpose behind this Mercury retrograde. And it's actually pretty essential for you to have a Mercury retrograde where not listening to all the information and being able to process it is a healthy thing. It keeps you only focused on what is maybe necessary for your growth in this lifetime. Okay, so let's bring you into the equation here, right? Take a look at your sun sign. I want you to think about your sun sign for a moment, right? We all know what that is. Mine is Scorpio, okay? And before we go ahead and kind of delve into that, what is the sun, right? What is the role of the sun? How does it facilitate? Well, if we look at it from an astronomical point of view, right, the sun is this burning ball of light. So we're talking about illumination here. We're talking about something that is bringing light to the dark space, okay? And we also know that the sun is a transformer, right? So now take your sun sign and let's ask the question, why do you have sun in Leo? Why do you have sun in Capricorn? Okay, start to ask the question, what is this facilitating in my life? Why have I chosen to have this placement or this sign and this part of my chart really illuminated here? What is this reflecting as part of my own emotional and psychological personal journey on this earth? You will start to see that there are themes in your life in which you actually clearly see that the necessity for the sun in Leo is very important. Like, let's say the traditional description for sun in Leo is you are somebody that is very self-interested, and you have an orientation that is look at me kind of thing. Let's ask the question, why do you need those qualities in your life? And you will probably find that, looking at the rest of your chart as well, that you'll see that this is like a natural need for you to express. You need to self-validate. You need to stand out. You need to shine. And so it's part of your emotional journey and makeup. And by asking the question, why do I have this? Instead of associating yourself with the definitions, you begin to unlock an entirely new conversation that takes place. And so ask yourself the question, why do I have this placement? So when we begin to look at the chart this way and begin to look at asking the question why in all of the different other places, you will start to see a pattern will emerge. And eventually, after practicing this a few times, you'll find that there is a clear pattern that exists that is really connecting and reflecting your own inner deeper awareness. So what I want you to do is I want you to go from this video the next couple of days, go take a bunch of charts, right? Go, ask friends, people who are interested in astrology, bring their charts, look at the placement of their sun sign and ask the question, why do you think this person has sun in this location? Why do you think this person has the sun? What is it facilitating here? And you can even do to yourself as well. And this is the first step and the big technique in being able to really orientate yourself in an even deeper way to the chart. That's the secret. That's the technique. All right, so if you want to study astrology with me, if you are finding this interesting and you're learning about looking at your chart in an evolutionary perspective, you want to teach other people, you want to read charts for other people in this way, maybe even want to develop a deeper understanding of yourself, then registration for the Astrology School is going to be opening soon. And we've created a wait list because there's limited amount of spaces that will be available. So if this is something that is really interesting to you, then in the description beneath this video, you'll see a link. And all you need to do is click on the link and put your name and your email on the early bird waitlist. And just before the course actually goes live, you will be informed the day before, okay? So you'll have access to that. And in an upcoming video, what I'm really excited to actually talk to you about is how I apply my blueprint methodology to the chart. So I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step process of how I look at the chart, how I apply the evolutionary method, and how I bring the depth of the chart out. So I'm going to be showing you how I personally do that as well. So if that's something that's also interesting, be on the lookout for that video as well, okay? All right, my friends, thanks very much for your time. And I really hope that you got value from this. And until another video, take care. Bye-bye.